Halo 3, the long-awaited sequel to Halo 2 that concluded the original Halo trilogy. What better way is there to start off our feature series than with a kick-ass first-person shooter masterpiece? Well, Halo 3 was the first Halo game that I played, and I loved it immensely. Several of my friends had it, and we used to play it all the time. By now, I know the game pretty much within and without, and it was truly a joy to play through a lot of it again to record the gameplay you're seeing.
It's good to see you, Chief.
Likewise, ma'am.
Now, I'm guessing much presentation won't really be needed since this game is pretty universally known throughout the collective gaming community and society as a whole, but here goes. You play as Master Chief, an enhanced super soldier who faces off against a fanatic confederacy of alien races hellbent on ushering in the destruction of the collective sentient species of the galaxy. This inevitably leads to him being the final hope for humanity to avoid extinction and really gives you a sense of importance throughout the campaign. The story itself, while not the main aspect of the game, is very good. It deals with humanity's last struggle against impossible odds and really immerses you in the role of Master Chief as his struggle becomes yours. You get to know interesting characters and it all accumulates to a great ending. As I mentioned, Halo 3 was my first Halo game, but I've since played all of them, even that non-canonical Halo Wars, and I gotta say, the series is pretty damn impressive as a whole and it all holds together nicely. Still, however, I'd say that I consider Halo 3 to be the best of the bunch. Maybe this has something to do with Halo 3 being the first one I played, but I like to think that it's because of the all-around tight action that keeps it together. Comparing it to the older games, Halo Combat Evolved and Halo 2, really makes it stand out as a huge improvement on already great games, and even though ODST and Reach were both really good, they just lacked some of that amazement I felt when playing Halo 3. From the fantastic action to the fabulous visuals and the surprisingly good story plus voice acting, the game is a bliss to play. One moment you're running through lush jungles, shooting snipers and ground troops, and the next you're wasting through the zombie-like flood in tight corridors. There is just so much fun to be had when you're fighting off hordes of grunts, huge monstrous hunters, throwing plasma grenades, driving warthogs, and so on. Admittedly, the game is not particularly varied. I don't mind it, but I do understand that there are people who would be turned off by this lack of variation. After all, you mostly just shoot your way through it and stop for the occasional cutscene. The enemy variation can also feel a bit stale. After the first two missions you've fought pretty much every single Covenant there is, and then the rest of the game is just all about repetition. This is something I do mind. While it doesn't really destroy the experience for me, I still consider good enemy variation to be very important, so fighting the same grunts over and over should feel tedious after a while, but it doesn't. It doesn't because Halo 3 really nails the whole action gameplay aspect, and when you're so busy mowing down alien scum and having the time of your life, you really don't mind that the brute you just smacked looked exactly like the one you just fought back on Earth. Being a first-person shooter, Halo 3 is sadly a pretty short game. This is of course common among FPSs, but it's still unfortunate that a game I love so much is over after just a few hours, depending on difficulty level and how many times you played it, of course. I do however love how colorful the game is. While I don't mind the occasional brown-grey shooter, it is really nice to see such an elaborate palette, and the environments really come together with the excellent lighting. Today, Halo 3 looks a bit dated graphically, but I'd still say it looks as beautiful as when it was released, and I do still fawn over the sheer brilliance of the visual design. That is fucking wonderful. In the end, if you've still not played Halo 3, I strongly recommend you to do so if any of what you've seen looks even the slightest bit interesting or fun. I am personally really psyched about Halo 4 because it looks absolutely amazing and I can't wait to get my hands on it. Oh, and the game has a really good multiplayer as well, but since I personally prefer single player or co-op, I haven't really been playing that much of it. Next week, Toby will feature one of his beloved games, and feel free to wish for future features in the comments. Until the next time, keep it gaming.